Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, The Luxury Newbie. On my last video, in which I unboxed my Saint Laurent medium LouLou bag in the gray color, I got a ton of questions, and so I figured I might as well just go ahead and do a review slash, update, or am I enjoying my bag or not, for all the people out there that are looking for information on this bag. I noticed that there are several unboxing videos, but there isn't a lot of information or review type videos out there on YouTube. So I figured I'd just do mine today. I like to do review videos in the pros and cons format, so that's what I will do today. And I will start off with the pros, which are a lot. Number one on the pros list is the dust bag. Let's just take a moment to appreciate the dust bag that comes with this handbag. Hands down, this is the best dust bag I have received thus far after purchasing from LV and Chanel. It is a very nice, soft, fabric drawstring dust bag, double layered with a kind of like it's like a cottony linen fabric, and it's just the perfect size, and it makes storing your bag, taking it in and out of the dust bag, a pleasure instead of a task. So that's number one on my pros list. Number two, which I wanted to make number one, but I was afraid I would forget about the dust bag, is the size. I raved about the size when I unboxed it, and I will rave about it again. The size of this bag to me is perfection. It gave me what I was longing for with my pochette métisse and I could not find. It gave me the perfect size, just in proportion to my body frame, and also in regards to how much I want to carry around with me when I go out. And so I never had to sacrifice anything while carrying this bag. On the contrary, I was like tempted to just carry more and more just because of how generous this bag is and just how much it can fit. The size is comparable to a Chanel Jumbo, but the amount of stuff it can fit is a lot more than the amount of stuff that a Jumbo could fit. And I think that's just because of, how soft the leather is and the way that it is tapered. So it's kind of, wide here at the bottom, and then it tapers up as it goes upwards. So that just allows it to hold, I would say, a lot more than what you can hold in your Chanel Jumbo. So number two was size. Number three on my pros list is material. When I say material, I'm talking about both the leather and the hardware. The leather on this bag is just divine. I do not own any lambskin items from Chanel, but from my experiences in the boutique and what I've seen on the YouTube, I'm guessing that this is comparable to lambskin leather. And, it's very soft, luxurious, just very supple, very comfortable to wear. It kind of lays nicely against your body or on your lap when you're in the car, for example, or just sitting somewhere waiting and you have your bag sitting on your lap. It's very comfortable. And so I give it a 10 out of 10 when it comes to the materials that they used, both the leather and the hardware. Next on the pros list is the design. I think a flap bag is just the perfect bag to get in and out of when you're on the go and not have to close it every single time you open it. Make sure that you have it like securely shut. And so it's just a very, very, very functional design. But the plus that this bag has when it comes to design is that it has an envelope flap on top, which is, just a little bit more classy and feminine than a blunt flap that is just cut straight across. And so that just gives it the edge that takes it, you know, to another level, in my opinion. So it is very feminine, very classy, very chic. You can't go wrong with an envelope-shaped flap bag. It'll never go out of style, and so I give it also a 10 out of 10 when it comes to design. The only thing it is lacking when it comes to design, and maybe they did that on purpose just so that they weren't like everyone else, is that it does not have an outside pocket. And I know that for a lot of people that's very important because they don't want to have to open their bag every single time. They want something on the outside that is just easy access, like an extra pocket, you know, like you would have on your on the back of your Chanel bags or the back of your for example, Pochette Métis. This bag does not have that, and I'm thinking they probably did it just to be different from everyone else. Next on my list of pros, and this also falls under the design aspect of the bag, is the way the flap is attached to the bag. With the other flap bags that I own, it's all just one piece of leather that is wrapped all the way around to the front, from back to front. And that, to me, is kind of, you know, not favorable because it will create a lot of creasing right here in the back the more and more you use it, especially if you have like a soft leather bag. But the way they did it on this bag is just brilliant. It is a separate piece of the double layered leather with all the padding and, you know, the chevron quilting and everything going on. A separate piece of that leather attached and sewn onto the back of the bag. So you have several pieces of leather, in the one in the front, one in the back, one on the bottom, and then your flap is a separate piece on its own. Having that seam right here sewn where the flap is sewn on prevents that, you know, artificial creasing from happening with the use of your bag. So again, you know, hats off. I really, really love the design of this bag. Now let's move on to the cons of the bag, which are not a lot, to be honest. On my list of cons would be the weight. It is on the heavier side of the spectrum when it comes to weight. And in my opinion, I didn't weigh them, but it is on the same level of weight. Let me try to gauge it here, of the Chanel Jumbo. It might be a little bit lighter, but it definitely is more of a hefty bag. And so if you are a person that is bothered by that extra weight, for example, that you have with a Chanel Jumbo, then you might want to try this bag out in person and add your stuff in there before you purchase it. Because as you are tempted to add more and more in there because of how much it carries, it will get heavier, especially if you are carrying it, you know, single strap. This can get very, very uncomfortable if it's single strap and it's just loaded with stuff. It can get very heavy. And so the way I'd go is I always double up the strap, and then when it's doubled up, it's perfect. You know, it's very comfortable because these straps right here are just so soft. They mold to your hand or to your shoulder. And so they make the bag very, very comfortable. And the reason that this bag is on the heavier side is obviously because of the materials that are used in it. You've got all this leather going on, and plus you've got the chains, which are made of just hardware. The hardware is very nicely cut, like I said before on my unboxing video. And it is very, very substantial. I mean, you can see how substantial that is and how nicely it falls and flows. But that does make the bag heavier. And let me see. I'm trying to kind of see the weight here. Let me see. Yeah, I think the straps are as heavy as these straps are, and I think in general these two bags have similar weights to them, and just because of the materials that they're made out of. And so that might be something that you would want to take into consideration, because I know a lot of people have bought jumbos and sold them afterwards just because of the weight of the bag. So that is number one, I think, if I'm counting right, on my cons list. Number two on my cons list would be not having that back pocket that I mentioned before, just because, you know, it's great to have something on the outside that gives you easy access, and you wouldn't have to open your bag every single time like you wanted to reach for your phone or your card holder, for example. Number three on my cons list would be the wear and tear of this bag. And I don't know, like, I'm really undecided, but I feel, to be 100% honest, I haven't had this bag for too long. I've only been using it for a month, but I have used it very extensively throughout this month. I've only rotated out of it, I want to say, a couple times. But I do think that this bag will not wear as nicely as, let's say, this bag will. And I don't know why. Part of that may be because of how soft it is and the fact that it does not have any hard pieces inside of it that help it keep its structure. As opposed to this bag right here, where, let me show you guys real quick. You hear that? There's definitely something stiff in there that is used to help it keep its structure. And of course, apart from the fact that it is pebbled leather, so it is a lot stiffer. And so that's why I've had this bag for, I want to say, over, how long has it been now? About 1.5 years. And it looks brand new. This bag I've only had for a month, and it looks gorgeous. It looks brand new. There's nothing wrong with it. But I have noticed how, with just using it more and more, it's going to start to lose its structure and kind of crease, like right here. I'm, you know, I can't say for sure, but just look at how soft it is and how smushy. So there is nothing hard in there that will help it keep its shape over time. So if that's something you're okay with, then that's great. But I do anticipate that this bag will lose its shape a lot quicker, and it will show its age or, you know, status a lot quicker than this bag will, just because of how soft and, you know, supple the leather is. It's going to start creasing and losing structure. Plus, another thing that I have to mention out of just sheer honesty in my review is that I do have a few stitches here that look that they're about to come out, you know, like, I don't know if you guys can see it. See that stitch right there? I don't know if that's like a stitch that's popping out of the leather, or if that's like a liability and it's going to come out completely, or if it's just going to stay that way. I don't know. And the same thing is going on here on the other handle as well, at about the same position. So I'm just guessing maybe that's where they started and ended when they were stitching this piece, these two pieces of leather together. And again, this is the glazing on the side. Beautiful, beautiful glazing. You can't even tell there's glazing there. It looks like it's part of the leather, but it's not, because you can see here, it is two pieces of leather that are sewn together. These are the stitches, and then they're glazed on the side. So this bag is just made beautifully. It wears beautifully. It is so comfortable. It is so easy to use. It has tons of space. I'm going to show you guys how much it can fit in here. Let me take this out of the way because we don't need it anymore. And I'm going to just throw some stuff in here just to show you how much it can carry. It's crazy. So I have been using my Speedy B30, which is like a black hole. You can fit so much more in there than I think you actually need, but it's good to have the space. So I'm going to start emptying stuff out of my Speedy B30 and just packing it into this bag. See what I'm talking about with the how the flap is a separate part that is sewn on there. You cannot do this with any of the other flap bags where it's just one piece. And if you did, you would get like crazy creasing on your bag. You don't get that here because of the way that it's sewn on. So let me open that up and just start putting stuff in here. Okay guys, so this is the situation I have going on here. I just emptied out my Speedy Bee 30, which you all know very well. And this is everything I had in there, minus some receipts and, you know, junk. And I'm going to show you if I can fit all this into this bag, which I'm hopeful I can. And that would be everything I had packed in my Speedy Bee 30. So let's start here with a full-size wallet, which is my, what is this called? This is the L.V. wallet, which also has the envelope shape with the brass button. I love envelope shaped flaps. And you know, you guys know that this used to be like a blunt cut right across, and they changed it out to the envelope shape. So it's just so more feminine and gorgeous to have that kind of flap. There you go. That is number 1, and that will go into the back pocket. And this is what it looks like. You can barely see it. It is so far down there. Number 2 is, this is my Longchamp Cosmetic Case. It's a great case. It's really cute. It holds a lot. It has a top handle, so you can just take it out of your bag and go to lunch or do whatever, and just come back and throw it in your bag if that's how you use it, whatever you use it for, or take it into the restroom, or you know, whatever. It's nylon, and it's a great buy if you can get one of these. So this is my Longchamp Cosmetic Case. It is fairly big in size. I will fit that in there too. It went in no problem with lots of space on the sides. Next would be this little guy right here that I think almost any bag lover has in their SLG collection and wants to keep in their bag, which is a mini pochette. I'm going to throw that in there as well. No problem. And you don't really have to think about how you organize your bag when you're using this bag, which is what I love. I don't have to make a map just to find a way to fit what I want to fit in my bag. It's not like, life is too short for that. I just want a bag that fits all the stuff I need to put into it without a ton of thinking. And this is my, whatchamacallit, LV 6-ring key holder that can fit in on the side, no problem. Another item similar in shape would be this little guy right here. So there's your hand cream there at the bottom. It is sunken. This is a, I'm trying to remember the name, koala, I think, card holder. It's not the full-size wallet. It is the card holder, and it has a little smiley pocket in the back, and it is super duper cute. And that can fit easily as well. I'm going to put it back here. And if I wanted to squish my items, if I was like desperate for more space, you can do that. But I don't really need to because it just fits a ton, you know? Next is this little card case that I picked up. It is the most, I don't know how to describe it, guys. I mean, I picked this up for like $8 or $9 at some kind of grocery store. And it is perfect. It is perfect. It's like a book. And it just, look at that. It's perfect. It holds like a ton of cards in it. And I love how all the cards go in vertical instead of horizontal. It just makes it so easy to grab your cards when you need them. So this little guy comes with me everywhere. And it can just sit on the top because I don't want it buried at the bottom. This right here is my Longchamp coin pouch, I think is what they call it. Again, it's the nylon with the leather tabs and the shiny gold hardware. Super duper cute. I use this for coins, and this frankly can just go anywhere because I really don't use coins that much. I use it more to put my earbuds in there. And last but not least, I have here a pack of wipes, and that could just fit, you know, on the top. And I still have room here. If you can see, I still have lots of room if I needed to fit more stuff in there. But for me, that is quite enough, because at this point the bag is extremely heavy. I don't think I would need to carry, you know, carrying that amount in this bag is no problem. Just because of how lightweight the canvas is, you can pack that bag and still carry it comfortably. But due to the weight that this bag has just on its own, even though it fits as much as I carry in this bag, I would not carry the same amount here, if that makes any sense. So you just got to be careful. If weight is something that bothers you too much, then you might want to, you know, try this bag out before you purchase it. Oh, and I forgot to mention, it has a pocket here in the middle that is very deep, and the zipper here is really nice and secure, and you can just put, if you have any jewelry that you took off, or like your important cards, you can put them in there too. And then there is another zipper pocket that goes all the way across the back of the bag, so it is extremely wide right here in the back as well. So you can fit even more stuff in there too if you needed. So there you guys have it. That was my review of my Saint Laurent LouLou bag in the medium size, gray leather, silver hardware. Oh, I hope this video was useful. I hope I answered as many questions as possible. If you guys have any other questions that I did not answer, please feel free to leave them in the comments below, and I do my best to get back to each and every question. Thank you. See you in my next video.